We will not stop. We will take up our shovels and our pickaxes and we break the land and make your landscaping and clean your toilets and our toilets. We will use them against you. Believe that.
You hear that? We will use our axes against you. Well, ma'am, we believe you. I mean, you're racial attacks everywhere. I have it in the mini film. That's the extra. In fact, I ought to replay that today on air. Battle for the Republic. And it shows a march in Seattle, Washington in 2007. And the illegal alien march has blocked a major road for more than 30 minutes. There's a traffic jam. And a guy starts shouting back at them out of his sunroof. And the police come over and tell him you're not allowed to counter-protest, though it was a unauthorized march, which is fine. That's the First Amendment, though they were blocking the main highway. They should have been just on the sidewalks. Regardless, the police pull him out, slam his head in the ground. He's not resisting. Blood pours out. The illegals come around and dance around his bleeding body in a demonic celebration. Because the illegals know. They've got the bankers, they've got the government behind them. And they are a weapon to vote for gun control, to vote for open borders, to vote to take the middle-class private property. And they're coming. And they can't stand the fact that we are standing up. We are back live. Thank you for joining us on this Monday, the 3rd day of May, 2010. May Day, International Communist Day, resulted in racial attacks all over the United States, burning buildings, illegals running around with torches, knocking out windows, setting fire. And you've got to really comb the news to find it in Arizona and New Mexico and California and Texas and Florida and New York State. You have got to really look to find it. Can you imagine out of thousands of Tea Party rallies if they could find one N-word, one punch, one form of violence, they would act like it was the end of the world on the news. They would hype it up so much that they'd just say, we have to ban America. You know, somebody said the N-word. And, of course, they were caught, the Black Congressional Caucus in Congress, lying and saying they were spit on, cussed at, called the N-word, all the video angles, total lies. They marched out in the Tea Party for a provocation and didn't get what they wanted, their race-based politics of divide and conquer. That's the issue. They've brought in the 30 million illegals. The government and the media and the universities and the public schools have filled the people full of racial identity and hatred of America, while the rest of America, American citizens, have been taught to sit down and shut up and show no nationalism unless it's supporting bombing some third world country. This is globalization. And that's why we've got to deport the illegals. That's why we've got to clamp down the borders. Not to mention the fact that they're bankrupting the criminal justice system and the social welfare net and the hospitals. Look at what's happening. We're going bankrupt. They're going to announce, just like Greece, that they've got to take your pension funds. What was in the news yesterday? What did I cover on the Sunday show? Oh, that Greece is angry. The people of Greece are angry. They've been told that they're going to have to give up at least half of their pension fund money. That was in the Times of London. And then driving into the studio yesterday, I was listening to CNN on XM, and they had different pundits on going, yes, the Greek people are lazy and bad, basically. And the Germans are angry about the fact that they pay into their national pension and they only get 45% back of their regular salary. And the people in Greece, on average, get above 80%. And they're going to have to give up all or part of their pensions to fix the economic situation in Greece, and they're very angry, and they're rioting, and it's wrong, and they're bad. That's the system. That's what we have to look forward to. This is being announced that they're going to take part, or in some cases, all of our pension funds. See, they take all your money, city, county, local. They have the private pensions, the public pensions, all of them, invest in derivatives. Goldman Sachs and others come along and say, I've got a deal for you. And then not only once the Ponzi scheme goes under, you don't just pay the bankers who made money on the way up and now on the way down, the bailout money. Then they announce, oh, we've got to keep growing government, and so we're going to have to raise value-added taxes, financial taxes, carbon taxes, and we've got to have the government take control of your pension fund and give money to the bankers. And because people don't understand economics or what's happening, and because the mainstream media won't explain it to them, they get away with it in nation after nation. And even if people riot for 6 months like they've done in Argentina or Brazil in the past, it doesn't matter because the police just come out and gun you down or arrest you. And we've read the IMF, World Bank, they call it the IMF riot, is the phenomenon that they know after a few months you just stop beating on your pots and pans and now you're homeless living on a street corner. That's just how this works. And the globalists have done this in nation after nation after nation. If you think you're safe from NAFTA and GATT and globalization, look what it's already done to your paycheck. Look what it's already done to the jobs in this country. Look what it's already done to our national sovereignty. And the solutions the globalists give us are only deeper down the rat hole. Greece gets $146 billion rescue in EU IMF package. The biggest for a nation its size ever. $146 billion paid to the creditors of Greece. And who are they? Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, and a handful of other big mega banks who sold Greece the crud that's now worthless. They sold it to them and got money. And now they're telling Greece, you've got to pay us back because you invested in this and it's gone belly up, and you're going to pay us back with your pension money. And then what does Forbes report? ECB president favors global governance. We covered this last week. Now it's in Forbes over the weekend. And in the article, they explain, well, Greece has got to give in to a new international framework. They've got to cut their services, and they've got to raise their taxes. And we've got to have a global government to enforce this. Pretty good work if you can get it, if you're a part of the private banking clan that rules the planet. Meanwhile, Obama, and I'm going to play this next hour. I said I'd play it yesterday. I didn't get to it. I will play it today. At least my ratings are high at the place of my birth. That's a quote, making a joke about the fact that he was born in Kenya, as his wife has said in speeches. At least my ratings are high at the place of my birth. All of the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our friends at Goldman Sachs. Well, yeah, they were his biggest contributor. They brought him to power. They run every major position in the White House over finance. Don't worry, because they make money whether you laugh or not. See, the message, remember Bush saying no WMDs here, no WMDs there, showing video clips of him looking under the White House desk and under his bed at the White House for the WMDs in Iraq. At the time he made those jokes 3 years ago, over 1 million Iraqis had died and counting. Oh, no weapons of mass destruction here. Oh, no weapons of mass destruction there. This is a time with the elite at the White House press dinner to make fun of the slaves. And everyone laughs, and it's so fun. And so Obama says, at least my ratings are high at the place of my birth. Ha ha, I'm from Kenya. Yeah, it's a big joke to him. He says, all the jokes here tonight are brought to you by our friends at Goldman Sachs. Don't worry, because they make money whether you laugh or not. See, we don't care if you think this is funny. We're going to rape you. And then he went on to say, quote, some Republicans have suggested that the health care bill contained a few secret provisions. This is untrue. There are Hundreds. And there are hundreds of provisions. They're not secret. You just got to know how to go check the U.S. code, but they are secret to the public. So, see, it's all a big joke on the public. It's all so funny. I thought I'd go over some of the secret provisions. They're not secret, but they're buried in the so-called banking reform bill that Goldman Sachs is promoting. Oh, yes, Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase and Citibank and Bank of America and Wells Fargo, they're the big boys. They're telling you this is a good idea. Gee, after months of saying, oh, my gosh, you know, well, the media lies for them and says, ooh, this will get the big banks. Ooh, they don't want it. Meanwhile, the bankers are like, actually, we are for it. We're sorry for what we've done. We're ready to take our punishment. Go ahead and pass it. And what does it do? It gives them total power over the entire economy. We're going to go through this coming up in the next hour as well.